Hey y'all. How y'all doing? I have not seen y'all in forever. Oh my goodness, I am like piled in orders. Like, man, guys, you have been really hitting me. But it's okay because you know I'm going to deliver everything to you guys and make sure that y'all are happy and satisfied. Peach McIntyre just asked a great question and I really wanted to answer it. So I decided to answer it in the form of a video. And it's a question that a lot of people are probably going through right now. So the question was basically, I feel like God is calling me to go somewhere and I have no clue where that is. How do I find out? And I want to share that that was my life in 2021. In 2021, I went through a horrible depression. Like, it was bad. I had postpartum on top of depression. It was just, oh my God. My house was, like the neighbor's house got shot up. You know, it was so many shootouts. My house got broken into twice. It was just a lot of stuff. And I said, God, this cannot be what you have for me. I have to be getting out of this. So that was my daily prayer. And everybody's like, you know, how did you move from where you were to where you are now? It didn't happen overnight, but it happened overnight. It literally happened overnight. Let me tell you what happened. So if you, as you know, or maybe you don't, maybe you're new here, but I had a very successful business out in Park Forest, Illinois, the Pink House. I threw parties. I made tutus. I made shirts. I just did everything. I rented the space out to other entrepreneurs because I wanted to have a think tank. It was just a whole vibe. Okay. And then on top of that, we had a 3-bedroom house, 2-car garage, full basement in Chicago. The house was gorgeous. The neighborhood was just bad. Okay. So anyway, one day I heard the Lord tell me to go to a conference. It was the Joshua Giles conference. My pastor was John Hanna at the time. He was going to be there. I'm like, okay, let's go. So I'm getting ready to go. I'm packing up all my stuff and I'm not realizing that I'm literally in my last days in Chicago. So I'm going shopping. I'm making sure that my kids have everything that they need. Y'all know I'm forever telling y'all how much money I had. So I had $5,000 in my pocket and I'm making sure that everybody had what they need. So I know I'm going to be gone for 3 days. My kids are going with a friend. So I bought groceries for her house. Y'all know I spent my normal $80 on groceries for her house and my house so that my husband wouldn't have to work too hard. And it was like convenience meals for them. I made sure everybody had socks, pajamas, clothes. You know, I did my last minute shopping. And then I prepared clothes for me because I'm going to a conference. Wherever I go, I'm from Chicago. I got to look right. So I'm making sure that I design myself some nice stuff, some Business Redeem type stuff, because that was the name of my coaching business. Business Redeem everywhere, making sure that everything was on point and that I'm a nice representation of my brand because that's what we do as business owners. Okay. So anyway, that night, I literally hear the Lord tell me to bring my son. Okay. So I'm like, okay, now the way that God speaks to me is probably not the way that God speaks to everybody else. God don't speak to me all the time. Okay. He don't do that. So when God speaks to me, I know that this is something that needs to happen right now and I'm going to do it right now because, okay, that was not normal. Okay. Something must be happening. Let me grab my son. Let me get ready to go. Now, mind you, my flight leaves at 7 a.m. This is 2 a.m. when the Lord speaks this to me. So sure enough, I'm like, okay, I don't know how this is going to work, but I'm going to be obedient. I go in there, I grab my son, and I grab all his clothes and stuff, you know, his stroller. I don't even know what the rules are about bringing a baby on the plane, but I figured a stroller was necessary and a car seat was necessary, so I brought that as well as his baby bag. Get on the plane and get my Uber to get to the plane and start looking through my tickets. Turns out if you have a child that can ride on your lap, that child is free. Bet. I called United Airlines. I said, hey, I got a child. Can y'all add him to my ticket? They said, yes. Come on, God. You know, because his word don't come back void. He told me to do it. It's going to work out. Get on the plane. I'm not knowing that I'm not coming back. I have parties booked. I have orders, you know, like that needs to be prepared. Like I'm not knowing I'm not going back. So sure enough, I get to the conference and I stay there. And as soon as my pastor comes out, Pastor John Hanna, I hear the Lord speak to me, go back to your hotel room. God, you tripping. Hold on, wait a minute, wait. I done paid all this money, I done did all this stuff, and now the conference about to start, and you telling me to go back to my hotel room? So the hotel that I chose was connected to the venue. So I said, okay, bet. I left out. I was mad, but I left out. I got me a souvenir shirt, and I headed back
to my hotel room, I purchased the digital tickets where you can watch it online. So I'm watching, and as I'm sitting there, I hear the Lord tell me, he said, your money, his exact words were, your money does not go back to Chicago. I said, well, God, how that's going to work out? Like, I got to pay rent. I got to pay, my lease for my space. What? I got bills? What are you talking about? My money don't go back to Chicago. Okay, but, okay. I don't know what that means, but whatever. And then he tells me to sow $100 into the word that John Hannah had given. And I got frustrated. Like, when I tell y'all I was fussing at God, I was fussing at God. I was big mad. God, what do you mean? Like, I'm tired of sowing. I'm tired of tithing. I'm doing all of this. My house is shot up. All of this stuff is happening. And you want me to sow another $100 into this conference? I done paid enough money to be here. And I was tripping over $100, right? Now, mind you, I came out with $5,000, but I'm tripping over $100 because, no, this $100 is about to stay in my pocket. John Hannah got it. Okay. I'm being honest. I'm being real. I'm being transparent with y'all. So I'm like, okay, fine. I'm gonna be a cheerful giver. Lord, I'm sorry. I'm gonna be obedient. I went ahead and I went onto the online and I sold my $100. I sold it into the ministry. As I did that, the word became more clear that not just your money was not going back to Chicago. You were not going back to Chicago. Your son is not going back to Chicago. Okay. I got a husband and 2 kids still down there. What you talking about? But okay, Lord. So I'm talking to my friend, and I'll never forget, I went down to the pool, and me and Tai Chi are just swimming around in the pool. That's my son's name. Swimming around the pool. And I'm talking to a friend. I have her posted up, on like the little voice memo thing on the chair right there. And I'm like, I don't know what this means. She said, well, wait, let's think. What is the provision for you staying out there? Where can you live? How can you stay? What is the provision? Let's stop thinking about all the things that can't go wrong. That can go wrong, and start thinking about the things that are going right. So I started saying, okay, well, let's actually think about this. What are the resources that I have? And it was in that moment that I officially decided that I'm going to stay here. I'm going to stay here, and I'm going to move in silence. Okay. I'm not about to talk about this at all, because if I open my mouth, that's how nervous and how scary and how shaky I am. My words is going to break this. It's going to make the word void, because I'm just so scared. So I'm going to move in silence, and I'm going to let each day lead itself. So I had a cousin that lived out in the same state. However, her and her daughter, her child's father, was having some medical issues. So they were at the hospital the entire time. Now, had that not been going on, I know they would have been so excited that I was in their city, but they were just so busy with their own lives. So they were in their own space, but I did know that she was out there. So I reached out and I was like, hey, I'm here, and she came and she saw us, and I let her know what the Lord had put on my heart. And when I tell you, the message was confirmed 3 times. You need to be here. You need to stay here. You need to be here, including her. And she said, if you stay, I'm going to help you stay. And she took me to her pastor, and he said, well, if this is what you believe God is calling you to do, your husband will confirm it. Call your husband and see what he says. Bet. My husband is a man of very few words. I ain't even have to really call him. I text him, hey, husband, how do you feel about moving to Minnesota? He said, yeah, let's go. I put in my 2 weeks notice. What? Oh, okay. Well, that's my last confirmation. Let's go. So we went to Chili's we were sitting at Chili's for lunch. So we're sitting at that table, and we created this plan of how we were going to go get my 2 girls, bring them back. And then my husband put in his 2 weeks notice to literally move to Minnesota. And that is how we got here. Within a week, I was working. I'm forever talking about our nanny. That's when we met our nanny. She took my 3 kids in for literally little or nothing, which was a blessing. She was like, I don't know why, but God is telling me to just take these babies. And she did exact that, and she showed them around the town, and I'll never let her go because of that. We ended up staying on my cousin's couch for 3 months, I believe it was. And I'm so grateful that she opened up her house to us, because right after that, we were able to then again get a 3-bedroom house. And you see it on all of our TikTok videos. It's beautiful. And the best advice I can give you, Peach McIntyre, It's just continue to pray. And when God say move, you move. You don't look back and you just go. Thanks for listening.